So, I had an Instagram follower ask me, because I post updates and stuff, how I sell my books. So, for context, this month I've sold 164 books, which is a little bit better than normal, but not that far off. It also says there that I have 6 books, but I have 4 books that are published and 2 pre orders on the go right now. The pre orders aren't calculated into this, and my pre orders are doing very, very well. That would be these 2 books, and one of them, my political book, is a bestseller. So, really quickly, I have this book, this book, this book, and this book, which they're all available on Amazon. So, if you want to go purchase, then, purchase it. You can pre order this book and this book as well. Alright, so how do I actually manage to sell a good amount of books, comparatively speaking? The average self-published book tends to sell around 250 books in the course of a lifetime, and most don't even sell that much. Is it because my books are really good? Is it because I'm special? I'm dashing, so that probably helps. Anyway, how do I actually manage to sell books? While not a shit ton, it's consistent, and I grow every day. Few different things. One, if you're not on camera, I would suggest you get used to it and be on camera. People are going to relate to you and your books and be more likely to support you if they can feel they can connect with you. Rather than on numbers, focus your time on building genuine connections online and getting to know your readers, forming lasting connections, people that will show up for you when you have a new book published. Become an expert voice in the room or provide value to the market. Be comedic, be controversial even. Heck, although I don't recommend that. Secondly, you need to know how to properly categorize your books on Amazon. Contact KDP and they will give you access to additional categories if need be. Also, learn proper search engine optimization, descriptions, and keywords. That will help your book rank better and be more searchable or findable in Amazon. Because if people don't know your book exists, they're not going to buy it. But a large chunk of my book sales come from my content, and I go a bit nuts. I've got 2 different YouTube channels, an Instagram account, 5 different TikTok accounts, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, and what I should do more often, but I'm horrible with it, collect emails as much as you can, because you just rent your social media followers. So you never know what's going to happen to your account one day or another, and then you lose access to all your followers. Ideally, to be successful and make $100,000 a year in book sales, you just need to convince 5,000 people to give you $20 a year. But for me personally, a lot of my tactic is social media growth, because I was making real good money when I first started because I wrote some programming books in right place, right time. I didn't have to do much in terms of marketing and advertising. Those books just sold well in the beginning of the pandemic because everyone wanted to learn to code. When that all dried up and I ended up, long story short, my KDP platform got deleted, so I had to start all over. And I decided to diversify my income sources and not put all my eggs in one basket and focus on continual daily growth. Did my voice just crack? What am I, a friggin' teenager? Anyway, I post a lot of varied content between political and comedy, and I'll just show you what I mean.
What's it do if she says she has a boyfriend?
You shut the fuck up and walk away. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Are you serious? This is torture. You're torturing me and everyone else watching.
Poorly explain what you do for work.
I stare at a computer screen and I hallucinate.
Do you support age restrictions for puberty blockers and hormone therapies for trans kids?
You know what really annoys me as a Canadian? It's the fact that had this rhetoric not started in the United States, none of us would be talking about this shit.
3 things all men must remember about women.
They don't want to be your mommy, they like dresses with pockets, and the left lip isn't the clitoris.
One of my favorite things ever is when conservatives say that they did their own research.
Me too. That's why I wrote an entire book about it, which is now available for pre-order, so Link in profile. World Economic Forum.
So rather than trying to sell a book in every post, what I like to do is I try to make people laugh, or I try to be informative, or I put out my own hot takes on certain issues. Those people then relate to me, so that in subsequent videos where I do mention my book or make it writing related, they're more receptive to listen and then accept the call to action and go buy my book. Now, sometimes when I make longer content that's 4 or 5 minutes plus, what I'll do is at the end of the video, I'm like, by the way, if you want to support me, here's my book. I also run a Patreon, and yeah, essentially I just ask people. I'll make the content as I normally do, get whatever points I want to get across, get the joke across. Sometimes I do things that catch people's attention, and then I'm like, oh yeah, and by the way, go buy my books. Then you obviously get into the territory as a content creator. People will inevitably ask you what your book's about. And many people, it's the bane of a lot of authors' existences. I fucking love it, I'll tell you. And I think that bleeds through too. People like authenticity, and they like it when you're passionate about a certain thing. It's going to come across better. But for the most part, it's learning search engine optimization, keywords, hashtags, and all that other stuff. But a lot of it is trial and error. Just show up consistently with no expectation of reward and learn as you go. Because again, like, I'm getting pretty close to publishing my 6th book. And it took until probably the 3rd or 4th book that I really started to see decent sales where, you know, it's good extra money. Then you get monetized on YouTube, and then you start a Patreon and all that other stuff, and you get monetized on Instagram as well. It's, you know, stuff starts working out. But I think a lot of people put the cart before the horse, and they don't realize that all these other things have to be in place for you to succeed online. You not only need to know the industry, the publishing industry, the book talk community, the booktube community, and whatever site you're on. You need to know your readers and their expectations. You need to know human psychology and how to grip attention really quickly, because platforms like TikTok, you have 1 to 3 seconds to grab their attention. And also, especially if you're a woman, presentation matters. Not so much for me, I dress like a bum half the time, but your appearance will be judged. But for the most part, none of that really matters. Again, you only need 5,000 true fans to be a massive success. 5,000 people, like, collectively I've probably got 50-some thousand followers and subscribers. If I had 5,000 true fans that would buy anything that I put out, I'd be making ridiculous money. Now, as it stands, over the last 2 years, I've built that up to be between 1 and 200, which is nothing to scoff at. $4 a book, sell 2-3 books a year. But that's another thing. When you become an author, you want to, like, you're probably not going to make success off your first book. Probably not your first few. It might take you 6 to 10 books to learn everything that you need to, develop better quality products, and learn how to target it at the right audience. It really is not easy. And some people luck out and have an easier go at things than others, but that doesn't mean there isn't a method where you can grind your way through. Slowly but steady wins the race, after all. So for the most part, just go easy on yourself and experiment. Try to form new connections. If you can, help people with no expectation of reward. Become a voice in the community that people know and people trust. Or start your own community and start a Discord server or something. But the simple and most effective way that I can suggest is to provide a value to the market, whether that be through comedy, expertise, or quite literally a service. Just don't give up, and you'll get there one day.